Hi everybody, happy Teacher Tuesday. My name is Josephine Hannon, but you can call me Jose. I'm the founder and CEO of Promote Her Business, where it is our mission to promote your business and each other, say it with me now, online, offline, and eventually all the time. Exactly. And today on Teacher Tuesday is the day that you can post something that can make a real difference for women entrepreneurs. Whether that's a tip, whether that's an infographic, whether that's a comment on this post, share your expertise because your perspective matters and it's important to stand for your brand. Say it with me. I stand for my brand. One more time. I stand for my brand. And you're going to get pushbacks. Anna, it's great to see you. I'm sure you can relate. Have you ever felt like you got pushbacks on something that you stood for related to your brand, right? I'll give you an example of this. During COVID. So what happened was I said, when I first heard the term social distancing, I was not a fan of the term because I believe in physical distancing, but still staying socially connected. And I wrote an article about how it's important to physically distance, but stay connected, and how I wasn't a fan of the term social distancing. And somebody, hey Sarah, good to see you, somebody told me that my opinion did not matter as a strategic messaging coach. They said to me, Jose, don't worry about the words that we're using during the pandemic. Don't worry that they could cause a panic, or don't worry that we're teaching people to isolate themselves. Don't worry about the words we're using. That's not important. What's important is containing the virus, but your expertise is not important. And that's what they said to me. And this is the point that I needed to be a stand for my brand, not necessarily to argue with them, because that was a losing cause. They had their opinion, but for my own sake to, one, make sure that I believed in what I was saying. And I did so much that I actually wrote an article called What the COVID To-Do List is Missing, and you can check it out on our Promote Her Business blog. And one thing I said what was missing was really looking at the language that we're using, and I thought it was so important that I put switching the term from social distancing to physical distancing is my number one tip on the blog that I wrote. And I just found out this past week that the World Health Organization apparently thinks that terms, not just finding a cure, but also terms actually really impact the world, so much so that the World Health Organization is now referring to what we're recommending to do as physical distancing, not social distancing. So it's actually now called physical distancing. So you never know where your impact will go. And if there's anything I want you to get today about being a stand for your brand, is we are all part of the solution. It doesn't matter if you're on the front line, if you're a medical expert, or if you're somebody who's an expert in mental well-being, or you're somebody who's an expert in spiritual wellness, or you're an expert in teens or family, or you're a business coach. We all play our part because COVID is bigger than just the health problem. Right? There's an economic problem, there's a business problem, there's a political problem, there's a social problem. Are you with me? Yeah, and so we all need to be a stand for our expertise and what we're contributing. Never underestimate what you're contributing. I found out that somebody who's very influential read my blog, and she actually quoted me to her following based on what I said about not calling it social distancing, but calling it physical distancing. Now, I'm not saying that the World Health Organization took my suggestion directly, but I did contribute to a world which is mindful of the language we're using, because our words directly influence our thoughts and our behavior and our action. If we call something, let's say you're running a race and I call it a 5K, it's different than if I call it a marathon, or if I call it a triathlon, right? It's all different based on the language, and how you think and how you dress and how you act is going to be different based on the language that we're using, right? So never underestimate your role to the solution, okay? So I want you, if you're listening today, to really be a stand for your brand and a stand for your expertise. I want you to tell us what's one tip you can give us right now that can make a real difference as we're going through COVID right now. What's one thing that you can contribute? Because what you have to say matters. Who you are matters. And it doesn't matter if somebody else tells you that something else is more important. That's their opinion. Your opinion is equally as valid. And we need to be a stand for our brand. And we also need to be a stand for continuing to promote our business during these times, and especially shining the brightest spotlight on women entrepreneurs and businesses during this time. We want to give back. We want to make a difference, but also not do so at the expense of our business, right? Being a stand for our brand is giving all we can, and at the same time, keeping our doors open, right? So it is important to continue selling our products and services and promoting ourselves, and at the same time seeing what we can do to help the community and help our clients like never before. So it's about making money to keep our doors open, but also about making a difference and doing both. We don't have to choose one or the other. We don't have to all be free, right? Be a stand for your brand means making sure you keep your doors open, but also it means giving back, any way you can that's reasonable, right? So be a stand for your brand. Consistency is queen. You've heard me say that many times, and I'm really curious. I see Anna's with us today, who's a huge community leader. I see Sarah's with us today. I would love to hear your thoughts. What's one thing you can contribute in today's day and age with what's going on? What's one thing you can tell women entrepreneurs that's really going to make a difference for them? Because I know that both of you and everyone listening has something that matters. No matter what anyone else tells you, what you have to say matters. And it will later be found out, just like it was found out with the World Health Organization when they changed their terminology, that even though you're just one person, you're just one small business, you're one solopreneur, you're just something, that what you say has a trickle effect and it makes a big difference. So I look forward to seeing everyone at Virtual Speed Networking this Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific. This Thursday, April 16th at 11 a.m. Pacific. Make sure to RSVP if you haven't yet. This is for women entrepreneurs and male allies, and it is free to attend. So come check us out. It's part of our social entrepreneurship to shine the biggest spotlight on women entrepreneurs and male allies in face of COVID and everything everything else in the world. So look forward to seeing you on Thursday. I'm going to put the link right above this post so you can join us for virtual speed networking. And until I see you again, please make a comment about one tip you have for women entrepreneurs during this time, and keep promoting your business and each other. Say it with me now. Online, offline, and eventually all the time. Bye, everybody.